we're back on another exciting episode of Starfleet Boy. We're of a casual and informal conversation about Star Trek. Today we're focused on Star Trek Discovery, and the episode is called Rubicon, which is the nickname that I used to have for our friend Ruben. Ooh,
Oh,
I
really?
like, yeah, I don't know. We have lots of nicknames from Rubotnik was one of them. Like anything that sounds like Ruben. Ruben Sandwich. I never called him that actually. Geek and Review's got a new logo. Look how cool it looks. Hey,
Oh,
Geek and
dude, I can't
Review.
see it, dude.
Oh, you don't have the chat up, Braxton, on the side here. You see where it says on the side it says private chat. You're probably in the private chat. If you go to comments, it'll show you all the comments. Did it work?
Dude, so the thing is, like, I am,
On a tablet.
I'm on a tab, I'm on a tablet, and I feel like like, the layout of it is like different. I mean, typically I use a Chromebook. I can see the chat in the on the right hand side there.
In the comments, yeah, there's quite a few folks here already. We have Cake is Eternal. Nice to see you again. How was your week? It was a good week. Unfortunately, Starfleet Boy is under the weather. It happens
Oh
frequently.
no,
I
I hear
suffer
it in your
from
voice.
allergies. Yeah, but this time it's all tummy related. But I got some meds today, and I feel a little bit better. So, I, in my own head, I sound like tired Holden from The Expanse. But everyone says you don't sound like him at all. But I don't know why in my head I sound like Holden to myself. Hey Blue, nice to see you. Blue's at work, listening on another tab as usual. Nice, I like it. But you can comment sometimes too, Blue. No, I'm just kidding. You don't have to. Let's see here. Uh, my week was good. I swore I was going to give up the live streams in favor of some sleep, but I can't. Oh my gosh, Cake, get some sleep, or put us like under your pillow or like next to your pillow and just like lay down and or
Dude,
one
where is
of
Cake located?
in España
Oh, so
in
he's many
Spain.
hours
So
ahead
yeah,
of us. Yeah.
we appreciate you though. But yeah, like actually, I love that you're here, so I'm glad. But Cake, we'll be moving these discussions to Sundays, which might be a little bit better. We're gonna be when Star Trek Picard kicks off, Braxton. We're not gonna have these Thursday. We might do something fun on Thursdays, but it might just be like I don't know. We'll see what we do. But no more Thursday discussions starting with Star Trek Picard. I want to give Star Trek Picard my full attention. I want to make these banners for Star Trek Picard that that Jill, whose title
Dude,
today
you
is "You're
love
Being an
Picard
Idiot."
so
I
much.
do. I really love Picard, and as much as I want to
Cool.
react to Picard, I also would rather just like express, have a little time and a little space, and do that. Um, so yeah, and that way also because we started this Thursday series when there was a lockdown and a pandemic. So I was I was at home, so it was easier to just like go from work and transition into this. But now I got to sit in traffic, and it's like I make it
Mm,
just in the nick of time. So yeah, we're gonna make some
mm,
changes for Star
mm.
Trek Picard. But hopefully we'll find a good time for everyone who wants to join us at
Totally.
that time. What's that?
I said totally.
Yeah. We have Geek and Review also here, who's got a new logo. Go check out Geek and Review's channel.
Oh,
That's
it
our
looks
friend
good.
Al. Yeah, it
Hey,
does. Oh, you see it
Al.
now. Yeah. Hey, Al. Nice to see you. Uh, we have You're being an idiot. Engage. Yes, we are engaging. And Father's here. Yay. So Hill sounds like Sam Elliott too.
Hey,
Sound
Jill.
like
Hey,
Sam
Father.
Elliott. Nice to see everyone. All right, well, let's get down to brass tacks, as they say. Braxton, what'd you think of this episode? You just saw the ending of it.
I did, so I enjoyed it. I feel like it's, you know, we're getting some setup for next week. I actually wasn't fulfilled by this episode. Like, I mean, I feel like it moved the story along a bit, I mean, should we start like with a recap or anything, or
Yeah,
like,
I love when you give it a little recap. So go ahead. I'll help you out though. I'll chime in on this one too. And Jill, real quick, is saying I was hoping Matt would show up too. He really liked this one. Yeah, he's got a fancy dinner that he's at right now. So
oh
shout out to
wow,
Matt at
oh
his
wow, oh
fancy
wow,
dinner.
oh wow.
We don't
You
know
know,
what that means. What a fancy
mm,
dinner could. There's so many different kinds of fancy dinners. I've been watching this show, The Gilded Age. I know Jill's watching it too, and I see a couple
mm,
of fancy dinners on there. No, no privates though, Braxton. No, I'm just kidding. There was actually some nudity in the latest episode, so I was like, oh, curses! I can't call it a PG
Dude, I
show
told you
anymore.
that there was nudity in it, dude. Because this woman, beyond the trailer, Grace, she's like, oh yeah, like the Gilded Age, like there's like nudity in it. She's like,
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, there is, but it's tastefully done. It's not that bad. Anyways, carry on with this episode of Discovery.
So I liked this episode, but I wasn't really fulfilled by the episode. The Michael's search to or quest to intercept Tarka and Book continues. We get the return of softly boy. I know what I just thought. Oh, dude, I wanted somebody to hug me like non-hugged Michael Burnham.
Oh, I know that's such a
Dude,
nice.
oh,
It's
dude, it
really,
was like, like
it's
she hugged her, like when she like came in, dude, and then like at the end, when like she was like, "Oh yeah, like
I felt the
I'm a,
hug. I felt that hug too. Actually, it was really
like
nice.
oh yeah,
Seeing
like
Non was great in general. Yeah,
hmm I might want to come back," and then they hugged at the end. Like I thought it was so beautiful, dude.
yeah, it was really beautiful. That was really nice. Yeah,
Hmm
it's true, and she will come back. I hope. I hope she does. It's cool all the stuff we found out about Non. But anyways, carry on with your quick summary. Go go go.
No, yeah. So, Michael Barnum is pursuing Non, but Starfleet feels like they can't totally trust her because of the personal relationship. So they bring in
Oh, she's pursuing
Non.
Burnham. Yeah, yeah, and they bring in Non.
Mm,
Yeah. I mean,
right.
she's pursuing Book. She's not
Pursuing
pursuing
Book.
herself.
Because the bars and they're like, oh, duty above all, like before like friendship or love, duty. So like they bring in her. Yeah, Michael is not successful in stopping Book and Tarka from targeting the DMA's power source with the weapon, and it doesn't go away. It just comes back. So, in the end, they have made first contact. Like we've seen Non. Dude,
And
Book
don't
and
forget,
Tarka are in so much trouble,
I
dude.
know they're in so much trouble. And well, Tarka, man, what he did was outrageous. Like he waited. That was such a good tense scene when he was like talking to Book, and you could tell he was watching Burnham's shuttle. And as soon as the shuttle, did you notice that? And as soon as the shuttle docked on Discovery, he's like, boom, 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 tick, tick, pew, boom. That's it. Like he's like, that's it. I'm doing this. I don't care what y'all think. But yeah, he lost. He didn't. It was a huge surprise to me because not only did he not get the power source because it's not even there, it's remote, like it's all the way outside of our galaxy, and these
Yeah,
crazy
yeah.
10C
On
people
the
can
other
just
side of the
like, yeah, it's
wormhole.
like, yeah, on the other side of the wormhole. But two, it did nothing. The isolytic weapon destroyed part of subspace and everything, like all that. Fortunately, no one got hurt. But like a few hours later, boom, the DNA is back and it's totally collecting its
Dude,
particles.
was it hours that passed, you think?
I feel like it was like an hour or at least a day, maybe a
Mm,
day, at
mm,
most. But
mm,
remember,
mm.
they went back to the station. I mean, back to the Federation headquarters, and they were like,
Yeah.
that's when she's talking to Nan, and then all of a sudden, they come in and they tell they tell her the news like, oh, it's nothing happened. It's still there.
Oh, it's still there. Yeah.
It's still there. So they're gonna leave soon to go and try to make first contact. Next episode must be. I think that we're gonna see some first contact. And I happen to know. You didn't get a chance to watch the Ready Room, right?
Oh, with Dr. Colbert?
Yeah, with
No,
Dr. Cole.
unfortunately,
Okay.
I haven't.
Well, I
I'm
won't give
going
away
to though.
spoilers because some folks don't like to know what's happening next, but let's just say the next time on Discovery scene is very, very interesting indeed. Patrick's here and he says, "Hello friends, I have a
Hey,
searing headache,
Patrick.
but I wanted to hear what y'all had to say." Ah, Patrick, hopefully we'll cure your we won't make your
Oh,
headache worse with
Patrick, feel better, babe. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
we're gonna talk in ASMR for the rest of the stream so that we can like make sure that like, I'm cracking Braxton up. Uh,
Dude, I can't
Kate,
help it. I talk really loud.
no, you're good. You're good. Jill says we learned something new about the Barzan. I don't recall the duty thing from TNG. No, I don't think that we learned
Mm,
very much about them in TNG except for that
mm-mm.
they're bad negotiators. I don't Cake is a channel says with all of that programmable matter, you would think Book could program to lock Tarka out of the controls. Yeah, but Tarka's kind of a
Tucker's really
genius.
smart. He's really
Yeah,
crafty,
he
dude.
could.
I feel like Tucker's like a step ahead of Buck.
Yeah, and
You
he's Book is
know?
super trusting. Like it's a good character flaw maybe.
Yeah.
Um,
Like Tucker's thinking ahead of Buck. You know, he is. He's manipulating Buck.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's also obsessed. I think I have sympathy. I have a little sympathy for Tarka. I think Tarka's a sad soul too, but yeah, that was not cool at all. That crossed the line. Book was willing to compromise, so I hope no one thinks it was his decision to blow up the DMA anyway. But yeah, I think he'll be cleared of that. Tarka should maybe do the right thing and and like exonerate Book of that responsibility. But at the same
Dude, Book is
time,
gonna go to prison, Chip.
no,
Like, you
you're like that's it. You're like send
no,
him to
he is
jail.
like, even though he did not fire the weapon, he is an accomplice to Tarka. Like, I don't know, dude. Like, I feel like something really big has to happen. Because I am actually afraid for Book. I think the Book might die.
No, 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 no. Do you take that back, Mister?
Because,
You
dude,
put
like,
that
I feel
back in
like
your imagination, and you just don't even mention that ever again on Star
dude, I
Wars.
like Book, dude. I'm
I
a
love Book.
fan, you
Yeah, I'm a
know?
huge Book stan. I don't think he. I don't know. Please, hearts. You're making my heart break, Braxton, with that idea. uh, Patrick says, "OMG, please do it all in ASMR." What do you sound like when you whisper, Braxton? Let's hear you whisper to Patrick. Patrick, we're whispering to you
Yeah, I
just
don't really
specific.
have a whisper voice.
That's
Like,
kind of a
maybe I'd
nice.
like to
That's like a
speak like a
nice.
little bit softer than I
I like.
typically do,
Oh, I like that. That's like
but I
your
don't know
soft.
that I
I like
necessarily
that
have like a
voice.
whisper voice, you
Yeah.
know?
I don't. I'm a loud person too. I'm sorry, Patrick, but we'll try. Actually, I did once try to do an ASMR video for Starfleet Boy. I'll send it to you. It's unlisted right now. Cake says, I guess if the DMA is just mining equipment, it's not surprising it was replaced. Yeah, I mean, like these guys, the
Mhm.
10C don't mess around. They're just like, sorry. I
Dude, the
think
Tennessee are no joke, Jim.
they're no joke. I wonder what
Well, I
they're
wonder
really
who they
gonna be
are.
called. Yeah, me too. I'm dying to find out. Dom, hello. Nice to see
Hey,
you.
Dom.
And Allison, I think I saw Allison here earlier too. Yay, hey Allison, what's up? Nice to
Hey,
see you.
Allison.
Allison sometimes appears on our TOS discussions, which tomorrow we're going to be discussing. Not tomorrow, sorry. Saturday we're going to be discussing the Tholian web, and she'll be on. So I'm excited to do that.
Very cool.
Yeah. We have a question. Do you think the Tarka going home story will be developed more? He keeps mentioning it, but we don't get more info. Well, he's not going home now, so I think that's done. Like, he's not gonna unless the beings or the species that the 10C, like when all is said and done, maybe they're like, yo, like maybe if I don't know if there's gonna be a resolution this season, but if the 10C are like, okay, we're sorry we were doing this, we had no idea that you guys like even existed or whatever, we're not gonna do it anymore. And you know what, Tarka guy, let's help you get back to your home. So who knows? Maybe that could be a possible resolution to that. Of course, it was replaced. Tarka didn't care because he thought he was leaving. I'm surprised that Book would think it would make any difference. Yeah, Tarka's on a different mission, it seems like. Uh, and then, real quick shout out Trek Central is free. There's been some shenanigans this week. I will say, This has been the last couple of weeks on Star Trek Twitter have been very stressful. I'm glad that
Oh,
I don't have a lot of time to go on there.
oh,
But yeah, did you see Trek
oh! Truck
Central got?
Central is free. That's
Yeah,
good.
yeah,
That's
they're
great
back. They're back in
news.
action, so it's nice to see
Yeah,
them.
Captain Jack is such a nice guy, you
Yeah,
know.
he is. And Dom,
Hmm.
who's in the chat.
And
We
Dom,
love
yeah,
the Trek
absolutely.
Central folks. I've been on there a couple times, just
You
here and there.
have, yes.
Yeah, yeah, it's been nice. It's a very cool channel. Check it out. Um, let's see here. Ruben says, I don't know what book did, but murderers and criminals get rewarded in Star Trek now, so he'll probably get his own ship. He already has his own ship, Ruben, so too bad, so sad. And I know you're referring to Agnes Girardi, but she was under the mind control. You refused to accept that. It's not my fault that you refused to accept that
I
she was
really
under
did
control.
not like Gerard.
A lot of people,
I'm
for some
with
reason, don't.
Ruben.
Let's see here. If their mining equipment is that big physically, I bet they must be huge, maybe twice Saru size. I actually had the same thought, Geek and Review. I wondered if they were giants. Like I
Mm.
wondered it'd be interesting if like we do encounter them and they're humanoid and they're just like huge, like the size like what like a 10C person's like the size of like 10-story building or something like that. That might be interesting. Uh okay, let's see here. The 10C is clear. Hey, Sleepy's Track. Nice to see you. The 10C is clearly the return of Edward from the trouble with Edward. He has evolved into the Tribble Emperor and has an army of 32nd century super tribbles. Wow. That could be a thing. That could be a thing indeed. And hey, Stress for K, nice to see you. Well, lots of great questions. Wow, I kind of like this format of questions tonight. What did you think of the decision by Vance to bring in when okay, before you knew it was Non, what did you think of Vance's decision to bring in someone on the mission, Braxton, to kind of override Burnham if she's compromised and can't make that decision?
You know, of course, he said, "Oh, well, Michael Burnham, like you never like let me down," but he was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, but I gotta bring in someone to watch your
Well,
back because
I
you're
feel
just
like the
too
president,
close."
right? The president made him do it, right? He was like, I never doubted you, but the president's like, I gotta do this. So you
Hmm.
have to do this
The
because
president had to
she's
have some
very,
assurance, some additional assurance, like,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I knew it was gonna be someone familiar.
Well, we knew because
I
of they revealed Non in the like all the promo stuff, so I kind of knew it was her, but
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, it was great to see her. Like she just like came in and she just gave Michael this big hug, dude, and it was so wonderful. It felt so good, dude.
when we last saw her, she was gonna go home, and it turns out she went home and couldn't really relate or couldn't really connect or
Hmm.
reconnect with her family on Barzan.
Hmm.
And she's been doing these like kind of secret operations and stuff like that. And apparently she lost like, several members of her team recently. And she knew it was because she hesitated, to make the call basically, and so she lost some folks.
Hmm.
But later on, I like that Michael asked her like, "Hey, but how many people did you save?" Right, and she's like 150, and it was neat. One of the things, and I wanted to tweet about this earlier, but I like that Michael says, like in command, it tends to be all about, you know, this or that or black and white, like it's
Hmm.
never, but real life is never that binary. That in real life, like there's more middle, it's more nuanced than
Hmm.
that. There's a lot of like in between and stuff like that. And so I
Hmm.
think that was like such a great and effective moment. And it was cool to see Non have like a story that like was relevant, I guess, to her being stationed with them. Like the reason she was there is because she had just made that mistake recently, so she was
Hmm.
likely to be more cautious about it. And even Burnham
Hmm.
like says like,
Hmm.
I picked you. I mean, I trust you to save this team, to save your
Hmm.
team, because she's gonna go off and do her own thing. So I like, yeah, that was a very strong part of the series. Uh, I do hope Nan returns for season 5. I think she should be a part back on the bridge crew. She's part of that Pike energy that I really like. She's from the Enterprise. You know, she served on the Enterprise. She's got a good track record, a good history, you know, and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. So yeah, I liked her a lot, and I liked
Dude,
seeing her
like
back.
when On showed up and she hugged Michael Burnham so bigly, I was like, oh, like how are they so bonded? And then I remembered that they fought Area, and I was like, oh yeah, they're
Oh
bonded through
yeah,
battle. Like I feel like Norm was seeing Michael Burnham. She was like, oh girl, remember like when we like fought Area and you like got her
not
out the
just
door lock.
that was a hard scene, but also she helped Giorgio kill what's his face. She was part of the whole. Remember Yum Yum, like that whole scene, like in the finale when she like, yeah, she's a badass. Nan's great. Nan's a great security person slash
Yeah, she is.
warrior. She's awesome.
Yeah, she
Um,
is.
but yeah, so that was pretty good. All that non stuff, and I liked on Ready Room they did something called a non sequitur, which was like a little reminder. And actually, they recapped a lot of those scenes, which was pretty cool. Here we go. We got some more comments. Let's see here. Giants cool like Galileo 7. Bigger than that. I think the 10C are going to be 10 stories tall. That's how big
Oh my
they should
gosh,
be.
dude. Oh my gosh.
What?
No, you're saying like they're gonna be 10 stories tall. I'm like,
Oh
oh my
yeah, that's what I
gosh.
would like. I would like that. That would be really fun. I thought that someone he brought in was going to be himself. Oh yeah, like if Vance, that would have been funny actually if Vance came on the mission. But I think it was good that they brought in Non. I don't want to give spoilers for next week, but I found out a little bit of interesting information for the next mission.
Ooh whoa, ooh whoa.
I was hoping Vance would have brought in Kovic. Oh, he would have been a good. That would have been interesting to see Kovic on the bridge too, like doing his thing. I feel like that would have been really interesting.
Dude, Book and Talker would have been dead if Kovic was overseeing the mission. Dude, they would have. Like Kovic would have killed them, dude.
Kovic does
Like
not play at all. You're absolutely right.
he would have relieved Michael.
We did get a nice reference. We know Kovic is working on the first contact mission, and he's got Bryce working with him on it, which I
Mm,
thought was really, really cool as well. Kovic
hmm
is far too valuable, too many universes to go. Dangerous missions. Do you think Vance will leave HQ and show up on a ship? Maybe. I bet there's a flagship or a fleet. You know, what I guess it would be the flagship. So yeah, is that Voyager or is
I
that
feel
the
like he
Eisenberg
only
class?
gets on a ship to go and to meetings, or he would get on the ship to like go to like a battle. I don't, like he just doesn't get on a ship or anything.
Hmm.
Like that's for like the captains and
I,
like the
yeah, if I were an
commanders and
admiral,
like
I'd be on a ship every day. I'd be all about it. I'd be like hopping from ship to ship. I'd be like, let's go on that ship today. Dom says Nan and Tarka were advisors to Book and Burnham, getting them to fulfill their duty against their relationship. Oh, great.
non.
You know what I mean? Like both Nan and they were the shoulder, the one little voice in the ear, trying to keep
Mhm.
them both on track and not like get caught up in their relationship stuff. But love wins, man. Love
But you know
conquers,
what? But the thing
especially
is,
their
dude, like.
love. Their love is so good and so deep and so strong. Like I love when Book is like, I trust her with like completely. There's nothing that
Mhm.
like he's like, how do you know she's telling the truth? She's not gonna hold us, and keep us there, or whatever. That she's gonna let us do our thing in a week. And he's like, I trust her. I loved it. I was eating that up. But yeah, that's a good call out,
Dude,
Dom.
but the thing is, like, Book is ruining himself for me. I just think that he's making such bad decisions, like decisions that are going to be really, really hard to come back from. So like, I would understand. I understand, like, he loves Michael and stuff, but like, if somehow he survives this, like, I feel like he's gonna like come back to Michael, and I could understand if she's like, no, like no.
I don't think she's gonna say that. There's too much. There's too much love. What do you think of Book and Tarka? Like, what do you think? Why do you think Book is so? If you had to, like, I know you don't see his perspective and you think he's making bad decisions, but if you did, what do you think is compelling about Tarka? Like, why do you think he's following him? And not just Book, but I think Reese was also like, hey, maybe Book is right. Like, there was a little, even among the crew, I feel like everyone's giving each other glances. Like, some people agree with Book and some people agree with the Federation. Like, there's
Hmm.
definitely like a division. But what do you think so compelling about? Like, I think Tarka is feeding maybe into everyone's fear, and that's the thing that's so. Book is so like hurt right now that
Hmm.
his fear leads him, right? Like, maybe, I
Hmm.
don't know.
I mean, the fact that the DMA did destroy a planet and probably
Well,
billions
his
of
his
organisms.
his
Um,
planet for sure. Yeah.
yeah, like that is like real tough, and you can't be blinded by that. Like you think of like your sweet little nephew, and like his brother and stuff, and like the people that he knew, I mean, so that is enough to make really bad decisions. People make really bad decisions, like, you know, when they are, heartbroken and things. So that makes sense, but oh, dude, it's just such bad decisions. I
It
don't
reminds
know.
me of like when America switched its policy from like, which is interesting because like it was a very similar policy that Star Trek had or the Federation or Starfleet has, which is you never take the first shot, and we went to start
Hmm.
doing preemptive strikes, and that's what that reminds me of is like Tarka's totally all about like preemptive strike type of thing. Like, we don't understand what the true purpose of this is, but we know that it's like causing harm, so let's just destroy it. But at the same time, you can see it like, what if this thing does eat up another planet or two or three, like how would
So
he
what is it mining? Is mining borium?
Boronite, I think, or Boronite, I think it's called, or something. Let
Something
me
that
look it up.
starts with a
But
B.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's supposedly that's a connected thing because the element that it's mining or that it's scooping up everywhere is essential to produce what's called the omega particle.
Oh, the omega
Uh,
particle that the
yeah,
Borg were
yeah,
using.
exactly, the omega particle. So like, which could,
Perfection.
well, and not only that, it could power a whole civilization. So it makes sense
Mm.
this civilization with this like advanced crazy technology might be effectively utilizing the omega particle as a power source.
Mm.
And so in order to continue whatever reaction or continue creating these omega particles or
They
whatever,
need to harvest
they
that
need to harvest
component.
that component of it. Yeah. Dom
Mhm.
said something really funny from TOS. The Kelvins, they're like 12 feet tall and they're like a massive tentacles. So yeah, maybe it's the fucking Kelvins. um, let's see here. Oh, we have another. Was Non referencing having to space Arium to burn him in this episode? I don't remember. I think she
I don't think so.
did not like reference that. Yeah,
But
I
that
don't think that
happened
was it. Yeah.
off screen.
Um,
We don't see all the action and like interactions.
if they were referencing it, they were drinking and sad about it.
Yeah,
Dom says,
yeah.
so what is interesting about Bryce working on the communications project in the book Dead Endless? Bryce develops a mycelial communicator and upgrades of subspace communications. Oh, that's really neat. You know what else is cool
Mm.
is earlier in the season, he was the one who suggested the sonar to get them out of the rift that they were stuck in, and so that was his solution. So that's how they were able to get out. So that's very cool that he's getting a lot more attention
So Bryce
in
is
this
a
season.
communication systems engineer.
He's the communications officer. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, for sure.
yeah.
That's very very cool, Dom. Thanks for that from the book. Which book is it again? It's called Dead Endless. There's so many books that I don't know about. Jeez. I need to retire now so I can just read Star Trek books all day. It sounds like a great idea. I used to read a lot of Star Trek books when I was younger. I read like talked about the Breen Gambit in this episode, but there's a book called the Klingon Gambit, which is a pretty good book. Please tell me Michelle Paradise didn't write the finale. Oh, I don't know. I'm sure she does. Like it feels like the showrunners always write the finales. Dom says
Oh.
Reese makes sense considering we know that his hometown got destroyed by a hurricane, so he can. Oh, in the DMA, you know, kind of resembles like an act of nature, right? Like it's kind of like no one really understands it. Well, now we understand a lot more about it, but at first no one really understood it. It's kind of like a hurricane. It's like this huge thing. Imagine if that's what
Hmm.
just like a part of life that people had to deal with. That's crazy. But I keep
And these
forgetting that
people's homes were destroyed by like Hurricane Katrina and like Hurricane Sandy, you know. Um, yeah,
yeah.
and that's just like stuff in the United States. I feel like, horrible, terrible things, natural disasters happen
Oh
to
yeah,
people around the world.
tsunamis and things like that. Yeah, there's like
Aren't there like
it's
hundreds of people missing after like heavy rains in Brazil, like right now?
yep. I lived
Hmm.
through Hurricane Andrew. That was a traumatizing experience. We didn't know how we would turn out, and afterwards,
Where did
just
you go
drive.
to shelter?
We didn't. We Our apartment building's been around that I lived in when I was a kid. Was around and survived many hurricanes, so we thought it would be safe, and it was. It did feel
Hmm.
like a train was gonna come through the wall at any minute, at any minute. Like,
Oh
but it,
wow!
but it,
Oh
it stood.
wow!
It
It was
stood.
so loud.
Yeah, it was like the DMA. It was like crazy. It was
Yeah,
horrifying. But yeah, then we
yeah.
drove around afterwards. I remember driving with my father and just seeing the destruction. Especially, we live now in an area that was completely destroyed when Hurricane Andrew swooped through, and it unfortunately revealed a lot of shady home building tactics by unfortunately uh, a company that's supposed to be associated with
But
happiness and
dude,
goodness,
don't you
Disney.
guys have like like rising salt water in your
Oh,
soil?
there's all
Like
kinds of stuff. Yeah, there's
I
all
feel like
kinds
I
of
was
crazy stuff.
reading a thing about the reason why like that
I'll
condo
take
tower came
I'll take a
down.
real quick environmental sidebar. So Florida, and especially here in Miami, Miami means sweet water, I think is what it translates to. When settlers first arrived, oh hey, what's up? Is that Esri? Esri, yes.
That's Esri.
That's Esri.
Hmm.
Nice to see Esri, and hopefully we'll see Ahsoka too. Esri,
Okay, I'm gonna. Okay, like
that's so cute. You and our friend Brian, Brian on Text Track. Anyways, we have what's called the Everglades in South Florida. It's like basically a gigantic river of
small.
grass.
Oh, okay.
Is It's more like a river. It's just like South Florida has these ridges that separate these limestone ridges that separate the Gulf and the Atlantic Ocean from the interior of Florida, which is
You
all
say
fresh.
limestone ridges?
Yeah, ridges. Yeah, and so it used to keep the fresh water inside the area that it's supposed to be, and there would be no saltwater intrusion. In fact, the pressure from the water, there was so much abundance of water, fresh water, was so great that there were these things called Devil Springs of fresh water that would go out into the bay, into Biscayne Bay. Anyhow, because of all the building over we've done, and all the filling in of this precious Everglades
Hmm.
of ours, the water pressure has retreated, and so now what's happening is the opposite. There's so much more pressure from the saltwater bodies, the oceans, that's starting to now seep in to the underwater supply or the aquifer. So again, sorry for that whole thing, but I just
Okay, okay.
want to
This
explain
has to
that
end. I'm
this
sorry.
is like for people who don't think humans impact the environment or that our impact is minimal. Florida is a great example of human impact on the environment that doesn't just have to do with global warming, but also our efforts to build here. So yeah, so we
Oh
messed up
wow,
our yeah,
that
it's
is
crazy.
so interesting, dude.
Yeah, well, sorry about that sidebar, but yeah,
Okay, okay, okay.
but yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy what's going on here. But let's see, we got a couple of comments. Let's go here. Let's see. So Dom was saying it's boronite, so that's the
Fortnite.
element that it's mining, and Sleepy Trekkie also said the same thing. I wonder if something is left on automatic because the new DMA was reproduced lickety split. Yeah, I think there's like to me, the impression that I got Stress Free K was that like they were just like on the other end, they were just like, oh, something happened to the DMA again. You know, they probably don't call it that. They probably call it like the mining dredge or whatever. They're like something happened to it, like just like how when we're mining, you could hit like a harder rock or something like that, and it breaks the thing down. So on their end, they're probably just like, oh, something broke down, just start it up again. Boom, no big deal. Like is the way it sounded, which is pretty crazy to me. Um, there are two more episodes. I knew that. Are there? I thought this was more than 10 episode season. I thought, oh, it is, but I thought it was like we're gonna get like 3 or 4 more episodes. But oh, well, two's good anyways. Someone commented on my channel that maybe the 10C is the machine race that built V'ger. Yeah, there's a lot of speculation going about
Hmm.
on about the 10C. Here, I'll put up our little 10C. Do I have our little 10C? Did I create a 10C banner? Oh, I did this. The DMA go boom. Just kidding. Geek says the 10C will be huge and join Starfleet, so they'll redesign the uniform to fit them. Yeah. um, let's see here. I don't think it's V'ger. I think to me, well, it could be the machine people. It could be those people that built V'ger. We'll see. We'll see who it is. Um, Stress Free K says the mystery of the 10C is the best disco mystery yet. I agree with this. What do you think, Braxton?
Hmm. You know, mm, okay, yeah, maybe.
On disco so
Like I'm
far, you're
trying
like,
to like
yeah.
I'm
It's
trying to like recollect past mysteries. I
so
feel
we
like
had
there's been like past
the
mysteries.
the
Like,
first mystery, I guess. Well, I guess first season one didn't really have any
was Control
mysteries
a
per se.
mystery?
Control was kind of like a mystery, and also like the red signals, the red angel and the signals. Remember,
The
and
Red
so
Angel was a
yeah,
mystery.
it was a
Yeah.
mystery, and I think that was a good payoff. Like I like the idea that Burnham had to go back in time and set those, and then last season we had the burn, which I liked the concept. I'm not sure if it was executed quite as well as I think I wanted it to be. However, upon rewatches, it does grow on me. I kind of like it more and more. But this mystery is very compelling to me because I have no idea, but it all seems very like
Dude, we're gonna
intriguing,
get
and
it next week, dude. We're gonna get it.
we're gonna see something next week. We'll see. I don't know.
Hmm.
We'll see.
Or
But
maybe they'll
anyways,
totally sidetrack us and we won't get it next week.
Stress Free K goes on to say, because whatever it is, it's got to be more advanced than Zora and the Borg put together. Yeah,
Mm.
it's pretty
Mm.
advanced.
I mean,
It's
but what
crazy.
would the Borg be like at this point? They would be, I mean, they would be so
We have
technologically advanced, dude.
yeah we I or they're gone or they're all XBs maybe at this point, which would be like a really cool thing. Like maybe the Borg unassimilated by
I
this
mean, I
time.
feel like the
Like, do you
Borg,
think?
like, I mean, because if there's going to be a Borg queen in Picard, like,
Yeah, but
the
that's like
Borg must come back.
800 there that's like 800 years ago from Disco's like 800 years later. So maybe in that 800 years the Borg all because like that's what I'd like to think is like the Borg were just like, all right, we are resistance is not futile and like
Yeah.
like it'd be cool if the Borg actually like went around giving people back their homes, like rebuilding their planets. I don't think they can do that, but that would be really cool. That's what I think the Borg should be doing. um, Arthur, nice to see you. Says I not that's not Arthur's name, but nice to see you, Arthur. Arthur says I think someday one of the shows should meet up with the beings that created by the merging of Voyager, Decker, Ilea, though. Arthur, my impression is that, like, I mean, that's a cool idea and everything, but I think my impression is that they transcended beyond the physical realm or the dimension that we're in. They're in a sort of state that you can't really rematerialize from, nor should they. They've become elemental, but I mean, but also I think it would be really nice to see some kind of follow up at the same time. So I'm of two minds on that one.
Hmm.
Sleepy Check, you says, I'm still thinking a future descendant of the Borg. The DMA controller looked very Borg. Interesting. I thought it was cool, like
Hmm.
I can't remember the Omega Particle episode too well. Do you remember the visuals of the Omega Particle? Didn't it have like a similar kind of like Tesseract slash hexagon kind of shape to it or something like
It did
that?
have a hexagon kind of shape to it. Yep.
Yeah, if I recall correctly, that might be the case.
Okay, this
Uh,
is madness. Starfleet
What?
boy. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay as long as we can still hear you. I mean,
Like
Esri wants to
he,
be on screen. That's all
dude,
good too.
he does. You know, I'm. Oh,
He
sorry, show
likes.
you cat butt. Oh, sorry, sorry. Because you have seen this. You know, you'll have to like block it out on the replays.
Sleepy Trixie says, I'm still thinking a future descendant of the Borg. The DMA controller looked very. Oh, I already said that. Sorry. I already. There are 13 episodes according to Michelle Paradise, and Dob says I'm still a really big the Burn defender. I like that. um, let's talk a little bit about we talked about Book and Tarka, we talked about Nan. What did you think of so you think well you already kind of told us you think that Burnham and Book are they're not going to recover from this. It's,
Mm-mm. I'd
you
be
don't
I'd
think
be on the
so?
rocks with that
What
dude.
do you guys
I'd be
think,
on the rocks
audience?
with that dude. You know,
You just
yeah.
this would
I I
you
don't
think
believe that Burnham and Book can survive this. I mean, you know, I don't know. Like, I believe, you know, I think that Michael Burnham is a woman of integrity. You know, she is a person that does not mind pushing boundaries. But I don't know. Like, I just think the book is just going too far. He's just doing too much.
I don't know. I still think he can recover. I don't think he I mean this last the optics as Admiral Vance said at the beginning of this episode are not looking good for Book, but I think if
Like,
Agnes Jurati can be exonerated from her actions, I don't think Book is
Agnes Girardi should have been damn executed, dude. She
no.
is terrible.
No.
I'm still listening. I'm just going over here to read these.
That's fine. That's fine.
Dude, I
um,
hate Girardi, dude. I'm sorry.
Oh, Geek is saying that the DMA controller looked exactly like the Omega at the end of that episode when it formed
It
together.
certainly did,
Interesting.
dude. I'm with that. I think
Who?
I would love to see I would love to see the Borg.
What if this is like the? I don't know who this could be. This is crazy. It's like it is a mystery. It's gonna be interesting to find out. It's gonna be definitely interesting to find out more about them. Braxton, I take a different approach. I think Burnham and Book understand that they're in disagreement on a philosophical level and that from both because I think from both of their perspectives I think Book thinks that Burnham's that Michael's making a mistake here. Of course they find that common ground at the end, which is really nice, so
Hmm.
I don't think that's going to be lost. I do think the fact that Book was so willing to not take action, to pause and to like wait for a week to see if they could
Hmm.
make first contact and stuff like that, to me that's gonna be remembered. And certainly from Michael's perspective I think she's gonna go to bat for him, whether it's over or not. I don't think it is. I think they can recover from it. I think their love is strong enough, but I do think she's going to go for to bat for him because he did end up
You
doing the
know, the
right
thing is,
thing.
dude, like if you're riding in the car with your friend and your friend like does a drive-by shooting and shoots someone, like I feel like you're gonna be in trouble too. You know, like it's like the same kind of thing.
Well, I would definitely take responsibility and ownership, and I would definitely want to make sure that my friend does serve time or does see justice. And I
You're like,
probably
oh, I
would.
didn't know he was gonna shoot those people.
That can happen sometimes. You never know. Like some people,
It can happen.
like it can happen where you have no idea. You're just tagging along, and then all your friend does something. That's exactly what happened to Book in this episode. Actually, it's a really that's a really apt analogy because Book's like, okay, I was just along for the ride, and I thought we were on the same page here, and then this guy ends up doing a drive-by shooting of the DMA, and that's it. Speaking of shootings, what did you think of that action? The action in this episode, the space battles and the chase
Oh,
and all that,
so a
like,
thing that I wanted
and
to
the
say.
shuttlecraft and all that. Like, there's a lot going. It
Hmm.
felt like a movie. Like it was kind of crazy. But anyway, sorry. Like, go on.
No, I was just gonna say that you know, like Star Trek fans right now, like we just have like so many visual treats. Like
Yeah.
I thought about how beautiful I thought that the animation of Prodigy was, and then they like went inside the DMA, and I was like, "Oh wow, the DMA looks amazing." Yeah, the visuals are really awesome in Discovery and in newer track. I think just in general.
Yeah, and in this episode in particular, I found the whole, well, first of all, I like that we got a good shot of the shuttles. By the way, the Discovery can cloak now too, which is awesome. I think we saw that before, but like this in this
Mm,
episode, they were really using the cloaking device really well, and I just loved the whole chase scene and like how, well, you had these like little battles inside the nebula, reminded me a lot of like the Mutara Nebula in Star Trek 2. Like it was just, well, isn't that, it's not a nebula, it's different, but it had a similar vibe with these pockets of, clouds of whatever inside of it and stuff like that,
yeah.
and I like that, like they were trying to outsmart each other. Like Book keeps jumping and then the Discovery just jumps right in front of it. Like it was just like, no, you're not getting
Hmm.
past this, you're not getting past
Hmm.
this. Like, and I also love that, like, because they were couriers together and had all these adventures, that Michael and Book they could anticipate each other's moves. Like,
Yeah,
and
yeah, that was cool.
the other scene that was really good in there was like I love this scene where like Tarka's getting upset at Book for laughing when Michael figures out, he's like, the Breen Gambit, she has such a good memory or something, and he's laughing, and he's like, why do you find that funny? Like this is not funny at all. But I got it. Like, you know what I mean? Like when someone you love like can outsmart you or something, or that you admire or
Mm,
something like that.
hmm.
It was really cleverly done. I thought that was great. And we got to see battles that were not like crazy. I feel like this was like a good, like, digestible action piece, and I just really enjoyed it.
Totally. I'm with you.
At the ship nerd in me was like going crazy. Sleepy's Trek says, I think it's probable that the Borg would evolve past assimilation as a means of drone population and move to drone production via
Yeah.
maturation chambers. This would let them move forward towards other things. The thing is, Sleepy Trekkie, as long as they're still, there's a difference between being like a collective, but also having autonomy in the collective, and have being a collective and not having autonomy. And the
But you
Borg
know, but
could,
also the Borg want to um they want to take technology. They just don't want bodies. They want other things too. They want like ideas. They want to add your biological and technological distinctiveness to their own. Like, I don't know. I feel like they want more than just bodies. Like, because like the thing is, like, like that far into the future, they'll just be able to like clone and grow people. But like I feel like the Borg want something more than just bodies.
yeah. But I would like to see something, a follow up on the Borg. It would be interesting
Hmm.
to hear what they're doing. Maybe this is the Borg. I don't think. I think because we have the Borg Queen in Picard, and she's
You
such a
don't think it's the
prominent part.
Borg?
I don't think it's the Borg. I think it's gonna be
Yeah,
something totally new and something totally different. I think the Borg, what happened to the Borg is known, but it's so far behind them that no one really talks about it. You know what I mean? That's why they
yeah,
haven't really come
yeah,
up
yeah.
in there. Cake says, at the end of last episode, I thought Book called it quits on the relationship when he agreed, okay, let's end it. Yeah, there was like a little bit of that. You're right, but I relationships that end can start again. Like it can happen. I've been in an on and off relationship every now and then. I think they may be. Arthur says, I think they may be freeing up the captain, just as the original series dropped Janice Rand. I missed what that's in reference to. It might be something someone said in the chat. Sorry. Oh, here we go. Text Trek says, I have a theory for Book I'm pretty confident about. I will share tomorrow on Text Trek. Yay! But boo! Like I want to hear your theory. No, we'll wait. We'll wait till tomorrow to hear about
Starfleet Boy wants it
it.
now,
I
Jill.
want it now. I'll remind you, Father. We'll all remind you. Jill's over the Borg. Why do you keep talking about the Borg? It's not the Borg. We know it's not the Borg, but everyone talks about the Borg. Jill, everyone loves it.
I
Loves
mean, for real, the Borg is like the greatest
the.
villain in Star Trek history.
Stress Free K says, I always felt Book really loves Michael. He just is a man of principle and felt he need to avenge Quajon. Their love is eternal, much like cake is eternal. That's very good.
That's
um,
very sweet.
let's see where what else do we have here? Oh, did we talk about Bryson Reese arguing on the shuttle and Culber stepping in that tense moment with such calm? It looks like he got his mojo back. It looks like he got his energy restored and he's able to, kind of give good advice again, and he's not stressed out anymore. So that was a nice little
Mhm.
moment of seeing Culber.
Yeah, it was nice over the last two episodes to see some of the supporting actors have a little more to do. That was cool, you know. Though I thought it was kind of dumb how Bryce was like, "Oh, you never like lost all this stuff, dude." But the thing is, like, he jumped to the future along with him. So to say that he hasn't lost anything, like, I mean,
Yeah,
if you
it's
jump to the future and
a good
everyone that
point.
you know has now died and your world has completely changed, like you've lost everything. Like, well, I mean, like I've lost everything once and you've lost everything twice, but like, yeah, I know what it is to lose. I thought that was stupid. But I'm glad the dude's got lines.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting, like how much tension there was between them, but I did like that they decided to keep an eye or keep a focus on the on the mission rather than arguing
Hmm.
with each other. It was interesting though to see them do that. It reminded me of TOS. Sometimes they argue amongst themselves and stuff like that, and someone has to step in and like it's either usually Dr. McCoy or Spock and kind of remind everyone of their duty. In a situation. I can't think of a particular thing. Dom went to bed, so peace out, Dom. Hope you have a good night.
Good night,
Um,
Dom.
Tarka's all like, Burnham is the enemy, snap out of it. Yeah, he was actually like, that's true. To Tarka, the whole disco was the enemy. Uh,
Dude, Tucker is extremely manipulative. I would not be surprised if he is literally lying about everything. That, like, the story that he gave, you know, to begin with, like, might not be true. Yeah, I really, really don't trust Dr. Tarka.
yeah, I mean, although I don't know, it's tough. Let's just say I want to trust Tarka. I want to believe him. But yeah, I feel like that too. There's something, especially after what he did, like there's something a little shady to me, like because he's been waiting such a long time to get back, but he still hasn't he still hasn't like he's waiting such a long time. Why couldn't he wait another week is, I guess, my thing, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like but I guess he's just so desperate. I guess he didn't want them to find another way. He's so desperate and blinded by this that he just like thought the only way I could do this. But now that his plans are foiled and he doesn't have a way to get home, maybe he'll come to his senses and start being present more and not thinking of this other place, and like maybe he'll start to see that his mistakes, and maybe he'll have a redemption himself. It could also be that when the 10C, it could be very well. We don't know this, but these 10C, and I think, who was it, Nielsen or someone pointed it out today. She's like they just don't care. The 10C,
Mhm.
like to them, we're like nothing, and it could just be that might be the case, and maybe Tarka does figure out a way to immobilize or do something that will keep the 10C away from being a threat. Maybe when they finally make first contact, the 10C are like, "Oh, you guys have been trying to stop our DMA. Now that we know, we're just gonna destroy all of you." And they like pop like
Oh,
seven
you know what?
DMA. Like
I
I don't
just
know. That
thought it
could
was
have.
very sad that like all the people on Quajon are just collateral damage.
Yeah, yeah. And actually, that was heartbreaking when Book said it like that too. He's like, "I see your point about it being collateral damage, but I still think it needs to be stopped." And that was heartbreaking for him to refer to
Yeah,
Quajon like that. Yeah, it's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah, yeah. Like, like, yeah. I mean, yeah. Yeah. It makes me think of that scene. in Hawkeye when Yelena Belova confronted Kate Bishop in her apartment, and she was like, "Oh, was my sister collateral damage?" I felt that so deeply.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. That's a good reference. uh, you're being an idiot says it's not clear whether Culber actually got his groove back. He could be making his stress in front of the crew. I don't know. There's just something different about him, especially because we haven't talked about this yet. I was saving it. I was saving it for last, but can we talk a little bit before the end of the show about Saru and Serena? How cute is that? Like, what the heck is that?
That is, dude, that is very cute. You know how they have like this like flirtation, and now they have like a date upcoming. That is very sweet. I
I
like
love.
President Tarina.
Yeah, she's really great. I love Paul Sutherland, our friend, posted on Twitter in response to someone else, but I had to retweet it. They're like, "What do we call the Saru Tarina relationship?" And he called it Taru, like T apostrophe R U, like true.
Mm,
And so I was like,
mm.
"True love, Taru."
Dude,
It's
I
so
love it.
good.
Taru, yeah,
Taru,
dude,
it's so
Taru, yeah, I love it.
good. um, I thought that was a really cute scene. I loved that Saru was seeking her advice and she was so happy to be there for him. Like I get that feel. I know what that feeling's like is when you have affection for someone and you can help them in any way and they come to you asking for help. You just
Hmm.
it's such a reward and it feels so good. And Tarina was totally giving off that vibe of like she was so happy, and I think it was so sweet that she's like, "Hey, we could have like lunch over Zoom sometime."
Hmm.
Like, it's
You know, dude, it would be really
like
hard to be in a relationship with a Vulcan as a non-Vulcan because they don't display emotion.
well,
You know,
remember
so
I think she's a balance. I think she might be part Romulan, part Vulcan. I think President
mm,
Tarina might be a little
mm.
bit of both because she does express her feelings. I feel like, doesn't she? Like,
Does
isn't
she?
she?
She doesn't really express
I gotta go
emotions
back and
though. Like,
watch. Like, what do you guys think, audience? Is Tarina more Vulcan or more Romulan, or is she just pure? Is she just a pure Vulcan? I don't know. I don't know if that was the case. But what did you think of Saru not being like, "I'll let you know"? Like, there's some buzz in the chat about it, but like some folks are saying Saru was being an idiot, which is what which is the line that that the candor that Jill's referencing. You're being an idiot to Saru, but yeah, he was being. I thought he was being a little bit too cautious. He said
oh
like
no,
he had the same concerns you did. What happened, Braxton? Did
one
you?
of my cats just jumped behind the refrigerator.
Uh oh.
Oh,
Do you
I
have to
think
go?
it's bad.
You
No,
have
it's
to.
okay.
You have to go get. Go save. Go save your cat.
I hope. I hope that she can jump back out.
I.
Okay.
She did. She did. She jumped out. Okay.
No, she
Well,
hasn't.
we're wrapping up soon, anyways, and you can go tend to that if you need to. but but anyways, yeah. So anyways, I think I hope something happens, and I hope they get together by the end of the season. All right, real quick before you go, Rex, and quick speculation on next week. What do you think's gonna happen? And give your rating and a little closing statement on this one.
Dude.
Mine is another 10, by the way.
So there's only two episodes left. Okay, so Talk is not gonna die in this next episode. But I feel like there's gonna be some stakes. I have no idea who Chansey is. I have no idea what's gonna happen. I'm on board though. My rating for this episode is probably a 7.5. It's lower than some of the past few episodes. I was entertained. I thought the DMA was beautiful. As I remember this episode's actions, like the only thing that'll really stick with me is Non and those hugs and how good they made me feel. So maybe I need to go up to an 8 just because
Yeah,
it made me
I was
feel
like better.
good.
I was like higher ratings for Disco or anything. So whatever. I'm
Maybe
all
maybe
about
we'll
it.
go, I'm gonna do an 8. You know, I
Nice.
did like this episode. It was great seeing Commander Non again. You know, the visuals were cool. Yeah, I like this episode.
I think we're gonna meet the 10C next episode. That's my prediction. I have a feeling we're gonna actually meet them, and I'm excited because I definitely want to see what they're all about. But who knows? If there's 4 episodes left, it looks like I don't know. I don't know if we'll get that resolution. Last little plug: go see the Ready Room. Really awesome. Wilson Cruz talks about mental health, the
Yeah.
pandemic, like a lot of great things. He also reminded me that. He's not much older than I am, and we both kind of came up in the same era. I'm at the tail end of it, but where many of us, those of us who identify as queer, saw our community, the elders of our community, actually they're very young but older than us when we were kids, dying from the AIDS pandemic, and not much was being done about that. So there's a lot of cool points that he makes, comparing the pandemic and also what's going on in disco, and it's all very good. So I highly recommend it.
Dude, how old is Wilson Cruz?
I can't imagine he's older than some in his 50s somewhere. Hold on, I'm gonna mute for a second so no one's computer goes off.
Because I was just gonna say that, like, so.
48.
Okay, so like me and you were coming of age like in the late 90s, in the later 90s, so like
That's why I'm
there
saying we were on
wasn't
the tail end. We were like
yeah,
on the
like the
tail because he was born in 73, I was born in 78,
mhm.
so it's not that far. Like, you know what I
Because
mean?
the
Like,
drugs had come out in like the early 90s
yeah,
that people
that's
had
right.
access to. Um, yeah, like I don't. I mean, I do know people who have died from AIDS, a few, but I don't know like the plague times.
Right,
You
right.
know,
We were little kids at that time, but we were growing up around it. It was happening around us, and
yeah.
some folks tried to hide all that stuff and say it was only a gay thing, but it's not. AIDS was affected everyone, but they tried to make it a gay thing and make it about gay people.
Hmm.
We have some funny comments about Romulans. Like, I suppose we haven't really met any emotionally stable Romulans. Laris and Siobhan are stable. Well, they're stable, but but a little crazy, which I love about them. Guys, tomorrow check out our TQIF presentation. We're going to start off at 7 p.m. Central Time on Text Trek. It's a lot of fun. They're going to do a deep dive into this episode with some visual support, and it's always a great discussion. So go
Ooh,
check
some
that out.
visual support, dude.
Yeah, Father spends a lot of time grabbing some screenshots, and it's fun to watch along
Dude,
in
he
the
does.
video.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
he
does
does a
a
good job, dude.
good job. Yeah. And then afterwards, it's Starfleet Boy After Dark. Then this Saturday, we're doing the Tholian Web on our TOS discussion at 3 p.m. And if we get a trailer, unless we get a trailer for Star Trek Strange New Worlds and Star Trek Picard, if those drop like tomorrow, then we're probably going to talk about that instead. But it'll be a Text Trek stream, so stay tuned. It might be a little up in the air, but we'll see how it goes. And then right after that, you can check out our friend Earl Grey Trekkie, who's producing some new interesting things. But he's going to be doing his Doctor Who discussion. And then Sunday, we are finishing off our Star Trek Picard watch along series with the finale at in Arcadia Ergo Part 1 and 2, back to back, starting at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. So come watch that with me and Fathery. It's going to be a lot of fun. Anyways, Braxton, what do you got to promote, my friend?
Dude, I have nothing to promote. I just want to say it was a good time to hang out and chat, and thank you.
It was a great time. I love our groups, but this was so nice to just hang out with you, Braxton. It was cool. It was really nice. Jill says, "Hey, Starfleet Boy, on the weeks that DSC and Picard overlap, will you cover DSC on Thursdays?" You know what? That's a good idea.
As we wanted to say goodnight, Softly Boy.
Ezri, that's a really good idea. I think we will consider doing that. We probably will do that rather than having a double header discussion. All right, folks, live long and prosper. Thank you so much, audience, for joining us every week. It's such a lovely time in the chats, and I'm sorry I couldn't get to everyone's chats, but I really appreciate y'all. And Braxton, have a great night, and we'll